Welcome to Meals That Got Me Through College. This is a $2.20 smash burger that will treat you right anytime you make it. First of all, you're gonna toast your burger buns with some butter. Let's also make a quick burger sauce using some mayo, some ketchup, a touch of hot sauce, and a tiny squeeze of lemon. Then I like to add my lettuce and my tomatoes that I simply sliced and generously seasoned. I got my beef and I'll just make a ball out of it. I'll season my bowl with salt, and then in a ripping hot pan, I'll place my ball salt side down. I'll place a piece of parchment paper on top, and with a heavy bottom pot, I'll smash my ball until it's no longer a ball, really. Also on top of this, I'm adding some onion, and when we flip this, the onion is gonna cook with all those burger juices. Oof. Place a slice of cheese on top, and that's pretty much it for the patty. I also have some pickles, some more of my sauce, and this is $2. Like, I'm never going to find.
Let's do some cooking.
Recipe is so good, I make it at least twice a week.
These tasty Turkish eggs come together in 15 minutes or less, so let me show you how to make them.
And now, not very traditional, but we're gonna smoke this yogurt. Smoke your yogurt, just trust me. Look at that. Cheers.
That shouldn't take you more than 30 minutes, so here's how you make them. I started off by making homemade buns. Obviously that's completely optional, but I do have a recipe on my page. I heated up my skillet with some olive oil on high heat for 5 minutes before I added my ground beef, and I used 80-20 ground beef, and each of your patties should be 4 ounces. Flatten your ground beef down in your skillet as flat and as even as you can, and then we're going to season with salt and black pepper. Add a slice of cheese, let it melt, and then we're going to repeat the process with the rest of our patties. And to assemble, of course, toast your buns, and we're going to add our sauce, and the recipe for the sauce and the burger, in-depth instructions are on my blog, and you can add whatever toppings you want. I love adding caramelized onions, and I love adding a sunny side up egg, but you can do whatever you want. You don't have to do exactly what I did. Make it nice and customizable to what you prefer.
Probably one of the best things I've ever made. They're lemon pepper chicken skewers. I saw this video on TikTok and I had to give it a try. So I started off with some cubed boneless chicken thighs. I did some olive oil, lemon zest, garlic, and then a bunch of seasonings that are listed down below. You want to make sure everything is super coated, and then you're just going to stuff a bunch of those cubes onto some skewers and then put that in the air fryer basket, and you want to cook them at 400 for about 12 minutes. And then while those were cooking, I was making a little butter sauce. I started off with some butter, some lemon juice, paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, some salt, pepper, a little pinch of sugar, and then I was mixing that up, and then I needed a little bit more butter because you want it to be this kind of consistency. And then once it comes out of the air fryer basket, I flip them over, cook them for another 10 minutes. After they were done, they come out super crispy. Oh, they're so good. And then while they're still hot, you want to spread on that butter sauce. And these are amazing. You guys have to try it out. And if
This is episode 10, tonkotsu ramen.
If you're hungry or fasting right now, you might not want to watch this video because I'm going to show you guys how to make this incredible chicken Alfredo lasagna. This is insane. First up, take 5 to 6 chicken tenders and we're going to season these really nicely with salt, pepper, cayenne, garlic powder, and Italian seasoning. Add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil and coat the chicken on all sides thoroughly. Now we pan fry the chicken on medium-high heat until it is cooked through and has a really nice sear on both sides. Let the chicken rest for 5 to 10 minutes and then you're going to chop it up into fairly small pieces. Next, we're gonna make a really simple white sauce. First, melt 5 tablespoons of butter in a pan. Add chopped onion and fry until it softens. Add garlic and saute until fragrant. Now add salt, pepper, chili flakes, and Italian seasoning. Add flour, toast it for just 1 to 2 minutes, and then add milk and cream. Cook this for a few minutes until you get a thick sauce. Lastly, add 2 cups of chopped spinach and 1 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. Delicious. And just like that, we're ready to assemble. First, spread some white sauce on the bottom of your pan. Next, add a layer of lasagna noodles. More sauce. Now spread on some of that chopped chicken from earlier. And then do a generous amount of shredded mozzarella cheese. More cheese, more happiness. Just repeat the same steps. You'll do this 3 full times, so you get 3 total layers. Fourth and final layer of lasagna sheets. Spread on the remaining white sauce. And this time, skip the chicken and do a very generous layer of mozzarella cheese. Now this goes into the oven. Tell me that's not the most beautiful thing you've ever seen.
This dinner is quick, delicious, and you only need to buy 5 things to make it. Start by heating up your ground beef or ground turkey in a skillet and boil a pot of water. Once your water is boiling, you'll add in some tortellini. Cook according to the package. Shred up some mozzarella cheese. I have this linked on my Amazon storefront, mealsandmunchies.com. You'll then season your meat, salt, pepper, Italian seasoning, and a little bit of crushed red chili flakes. Drain it, add a jar of marinara sauce, and 1 block of cream cheese. Once that's well combined, add in your cooked tortellini. Top this with your mozzarella cheese and bake for 10 minutes at 350 degrees.
In a previous episode of the dumpling series, I showed you how to make soup dumplings with pork, and now I'm going to show you how to make it with chicken. By the way, I use Shaoxing wine in this recipe, so if you're halal, you could just leave it out. To get started, blanch chicken bones and feet in water to get rid of the scum and rinse it under cold water. Add the bones back to the pot along with ginger, green onion, bay leaves, Shaoxing wine, and water. Boil for 4 hours, strain, season with salt, and let it solidify in the fridge overnight. When it's ready, skim the fat and finally chop it up. For the dough, combine flour, salt, and hot water until shaggy dough comes together and knead it until it's smooth. Let that rest while we make the filling, which is made of ground chicken, green onion, ginger, Shaoxing wine, soy sauce, sesame oil, salt, sugar, and white pepper. Mix in one direction and add the chopped up broth. Now roll the dough into a rope and cut into 10-gram pieces. Flatten and roll the dough out and place about a tablespoon of filling in the center of the wrapper and try to fold it so it has 18 pleats. Finally, steam.
We made this last week and posted it on our Instagram story and got so many replies of you guys wanting the recipe, so we finally filmed how we make it. It's super easy to pull together. Just saute onion and garlic with some Italian spices, add butter, tomato paste, and then flour to make a roux so that the sauce thickens. Then add your chicken broth, heavy cream, and sun-dried tomatoes. We did make a rookie mistake and forgot to add salt and pepper with the other seasonings, but we are not professional chefs, so please do not come for us. Lastly, we added pecorino romano, pasta water, fresh basil, and the linguine. We also shallow fried some chicken cutlets to go on top of the pasta. Totally optional, but super
Recipe that got me to love shrimp. The shrimp is battered, fried to crispy golden perfection, and then tossed in a delicious sweet and spicy volcano sauce. To a saucepan, combine buffalo sauce, brown sugar, honey, garlic, and rice vinegar. Once it thickens, we'll add some butter, parsley, and red pepper flakes, and then set that aside. Now we'll make our wet batter. It's just eggs, salt, and black pepper, and then for the dry batter, salt and pepper, as well as cornstarch. Dip the shrimp first in the wet batter, then into the dry, and shake it all around until they're all fully coated. Now get some oil nice and hot and fry the shrimps until they're beautifully golden and crispy just like this. Toss in the sauce, serve over a bed of rice with some green onions, and all that's left to do now is enjoy.
favorite dinner. It's taco rice. It's done in under 30 minutes in one skillet. Everything you love about a taco in one cheesy bowl. All you do is dice up some onion and you saute that in a nonstick skillet. You add in some lean ground beef. You can use ground turkey too. You cook that until it's done. You add in some garlic. Those are those frozen garlic cubes. I get them at Trader Joe's, super convenient. Then you add in some taco seasoning, some salsa, some long grain white rice. Probably could use brown too. I just like white. Then some chicken broth. You stir it, bring it to a boil, and then cover it and let it simmer for 15 to 20 minutes until the rice is absorbed all of that liquid and it's tender. This is how it's gonna look. You give that a quick stir. I chopped up some cilantro. On the side, you're gonna add that in now. I use a cup. I love cilantro. You can add as much or as little as you want. You stir that in and then you add in some grated cheese. Stir that in too. I forgot to show you guys that I also put some more cheese on top of this, but that's totally up to you. Once you get that cheese in, you put the lid on, let it sit for a few minutes, and then this is how it looks. It is everything you love about a taco. Pop that into a bowl, top it with tortilla chips, guacamole, sour cream, all of your favorite toppings.
So I made these tacos, people could not get enough. They were flying out. Someone ate 10 of them and people were taking them out of the pan as I was frying them. Welcome to Ramadan Cravings, where I'll be sharing 30 recipes for every day of fasting, and today I'm craving these chicken burrito tacos. The best part of this recipe is that it's so easy. You just pop everything into the pan basically, let it cook for a minimum of 2 hours. Trust me, you need to do this. It just makes it taste so much better. You want to take the chicken out about halfway through, shred it and set it aside, otherwise it'll become a little bit too soft. And this tastes so much better when you make your own homemade tortillas. Obviously you can use store-bought, but I do have a recipe for my homemade tortillas on my page and they're really easy and simple, so give it a go. Add the shredded chicken back into the sauce, and then this is where the magic happens. You want to chuck in your tortilla and soak it in that broth. Top it with cheese and some of the chicken. You don't want to add too much of the sauce here because otherwise it'll just go all soggy. And then pan fry it on a pan until it gets crispy.
Au gratin potatoes. So this is really special and I absolutely have to make it every Thanksgiving. It has an incredible cheddar cheese sauce and there's onion stuffed between the potatoes, so they almost taste like a sour cream cheddar cheese potato situation. So good. Top with more cheese, Parmesan, and then you bake until it's nice and bubbly and has a little bit of a golden crust on top. The best part is that you can actually make these ahead of time for Thanksgiving and then reheat the next day. Grab the recipe on Ambitious Kitchen.
Monday, we make something spicy. On Tuesday, we sweeten things up. On Wednesdays, we wear pink and skip the meat. On Thursday, we make takeout at home and even better. And Friday is for seafood.
Are the best dumplings I've ever made. They were super crispy and so delicious. I like to mince up some chicken thighs as opposed to buying store-bought mince. I feel like it's much better quality. Then very finely chopping up some spring onion and coriander. And this is what we're going to be popping into the mince. Pop the mince into a large mixing bowl and then crush your garlic. I love this garlic crusher. I got it off Amazon. Then grate your ginger but not your fingers. Then to that add some soy sauce, sesame oil, oyster sauce. And they always say to mix in one direction and not like willy-nilly. This is when I realized I forgot the egg. Pop an egg in and give that a really good mix. This is the consistency that you're after. Nothing too wet, nothing too dry. This is perfect. This here is a juicy filling and let's fill them up. I'm using gyoza wrappers. I like them because they're a bit thinner. Here I'm folding them very pretty, which I don't usually do. I'm starting on one end and then finishing to the other, pressing to seal. And these are all the folded ones. I think I made about like 40 or 50. Look how pretty they are. Time to cook these bad boys. When cooking them, you have to add cold water. This is pretty much steaming the dumplings to cook the inside. Then when a lot of the water's gone, that's when you start to pan fry and get them super crispy. I might have made these a little too big, but they were so good. I'm topping this with some Momofuku chili crunch. This chili oil is delicious. I also added some spring onion, chili, and then some soy sauce.
I was 24 years old when I had my first stuffed crust pizza and I fell in love. So here's my 30-minute homemade stuffed crust pizza that only uses 2 ingredients for the dough and is so simple to make. We have this at least once a week and change it up with different toppings. Honestly, you guys, I am obsessed. It's so cheesy, so easy, and perfect for when you get those pizza cravings. Simply make your 2-ingredient dough and then slice up your toppings, roll out your dough and then place grated mozzarella all around the outside, fold over the edges and seal like this. Then top with your marinara sauce, mozzarella cheese, cherry tomatoes, basil, bake and enjoy.